My smart theater room has become a little bit smarter now that I know how I've controlled everything through HDMI control and cutting all 8 remotes down to 3. Well, 2 physical remotes. I'll talk about that third one later. But let's start off with what we have in the system. Everything I'm about to show you is hooked up to something. We have a Pioneer laser disc player, a Sony Blu-ray player, a Sony DVD player, a Sanyo VCR/DVD player, Denon receiver, the tape deck I'm not going to talk about, the Apple TV that's not currently plugged in, which I'll explain, this Bluetooth thingy, my Switch, my Google TV 4K, and my Sony TV. Everything which is all controlled by these 2 plus a third remote. And it's not this one, I'll tell you that. There is actually another way to control the system, but we'll get back to that later. I'm also going to leave out the game consoles that are on these shelves because these aren't really smartified. They're just kind of dirt in the system and you can control them other ways. So I'll explain that too, but we're going to start with the smart stuff first. So every time I come down here when I want to watch something or watch a YouTube video, I don't actually use any of the remotes. I actually use my voice assistant. Hey Google, turn on the TV. TV kicks on, receiver kicks on as well, and in a couple seconds, once the TV boots and warms up, my Google TV, or Man Cave TV, has booted up, as you can see. So it does this all automatically, and the last input was actually not the Google TV, it was actually the Switch. So it can figure it out all on its own because this receiver has HDMI switcher controls, and it even knows that it is in Dolby PLL 2 game mode as well, so I have all that set up. So, for example, now that I have this, what if I brought a Blu-ray, let me just not speak real quick, a Blu-ray down with me? All I have to do is grab this remote right here, which has a set of function buttons. So on the top here, if the remote would like to focus on it, there we go, I just wanted to switch modes. You got your Blu-ray mode, DVD mode, standby, and TV. So right now you can go into TV mode, and you also have your Blu-ray functions. So let's see here, for example here, let's wait for the thing to switch back. It's not going to switch back, no. So if I want to turn the Blu-ray player on normally, I can just go and get the Blu-ray remote, turn it on, and use that. But the TV, if it's plugged into the TV, I don't think it originally switched automatically. With this, I click the home button that's on my remote here. If I'm set to TV mode, I think it'll work, and also make sure I'm pointing at the sensor. Home mode, and I'm going to switch to player 1, which is Blu-ray control. As soon as I hit this, that box down there, you're going to see a light kick on. The Blu-ray player has woken up. It is launching the external input, which it has to figure out through this input switcher on the receiver here. Once it figures that out, it'll not say smart anymore, and it will actually switch to Blu-ray, or BD. Once that occurs, and as soon as the Blu-ray player wakes up from sleep, which takes a hilariously long time for some reason, this Blu-ray player is pretty slow, it will show a picture, and I can control the Blu-ray player. And if I go in and switch to BD mode, like so, now I can go and focus by clicking home, and it will pull up the Blu-ray control menu, as you can see right here. And if I click TV on the remote here, I can go back and actually open the TV options like normal. But if I want to control the Blu-ray player, all I have to do is hit the signal button, and I can go into setup and whatnot. So I can do all that, watch a movie, press play, pause, and all that stuff, as you can see right here. Alright, next thing, if I want to, let's say, I don't know, play a game or something on the Switch, I don't even need to touch anything. All I have to do is take the controller and wake it up. It is awake. The Switch has awoken up. And after a couple seconds, the receiver will switch inputs. And the Switch is now awake. And I can play all the games I want on it. And I didn't even have to touch anything, and it just did it all on its own. As you can see, the receiver is now in game mode, as you can see right there. And now, what if I want to watch a home video that hasn't been finalized on my DVD player? Well, I can just go right here. I think actually I have to switch it. Oh, let's curious here. I don't know if it's actually under control because it's a non-HDMI device, but we'll play a game here. Let's see if it actually shows up or not. We've got video, component 1, component 2. I guess it's under the receiver, so it won't actually work, but you can make up your own imagination. I didn't expect this to work on the go. Get-go. If I can get out of this menu, that'd be nice. There we go. Let's grab this, but I will need that remote, actually. Go over here, switch to DVD. Switch over to DVD mode. And then I go to the Sony remote. This is the TV remote. Click DVD and click power, and the box above the Blu-ray box, that's the one that's connected to it. Again, didn't need to do a single thing. I didn't need to grab that DVD remote that's on the shelf, and it did it all for me. It's 8:30. I don't know what's occurring at the moment. My signal must not be coming in clear from the DVD player because it's doing this weird thing. It's flexing in and out of signal. I wiggled the wires and it seems to still be doing it. I turned progressive mode on and off, but it just seems to be bugging out at the moment, so a problem to fix for another time. But anyway, so moving on. Alright, so as you can see here, I have switched to the game mode, which the receiver has put itself into TV overlay, so it has set it back to what it's supposed to be, and I have a bunch of consoles running up right now. I actually have one more little trick up my sleeve here. In front of all of this garbage here that I have showing up, we have this little switcher boxer. It's a three-way component switcher, so you have 1, you have 2, and you have 3. So if you want to, you can hit 1, which is currently on, which is currently the Wii. But if I want to switch to, let's say, the PS2, all I have to hit is the 2 button. And it'll switch to the PS2, which apparently the PS2 has lost its clock. At some point, I think we had a power flicker because the Wii wasn't on its standby mode, so none of the remotes were actually charging. So I think the PS2 has lost its clock. We must have had a power outage when I wasn't here, so it's lost its internal memory clock. I don't think that clock battery works anymore because it's pretty old. And if I want to switch to, let's say, the GameCube, done. Right there. Boom. Switch back to the Wii. Wait for it to readjust. Boom. Back to the GameCube. Boom. GameCube. All the consoles right here. Simple as that. This is actually the fastest way to switch back to the smart TV if I really want to. Hey Google, open YouTube.
Sure, launching YouTube on the Man Cave TV. Ready to own it? That perfect fitting, bold.
I don't know why it's playing audio.
Hit the trail, super crafty, shot of this. Every hydro flask.
Shush. Oh yeah, if I mute it, it automatically mutes it on the receiver, which I think is really smart. I have some weird audio fluctuation. Hey, I was watching that! Which comes to my next point. The Google TV, I actually took the batteries out of the remote that came with it. In fact, I have not ever used that remote except while using setup. All the other times that I use to control the Google TV is the Smart Assistant or the Google Home app remote functionality that I use on my phone, which I think is amazing. So all I have to do is if I want to watch something, I can either go into one of my apps using the remote functionality, or if I want to watch a YouTube video, just open the YouTube app on my phone and Chromecast to it, because this is a Google TV and it will do anything under Google, aka YouTube. So I call that a huge win. And when I'm all done down here, and I want to turn everything off, and when I mean everything off, it will do it all automatically. Blu-ray player, receiver, TV, none of the other stuff because it's not over HDMI control. The switch that I forgot that I left on. Hey Google, turn off the TV. And I didn't know this until a few seconds ago. It puts the switch to sleep. Yeah, it turns the Blu-ray player off. It puts the receiver to sleep. It turns the TV off, and it puts the switch to sleep. That is just mind-blowing, honestly. And how do I turn those two lights off? Hey Siri, turn off the basement lights. Smart basement. Now, let me talk about the Apple TV and this Bluetooth receiver. So the Apple TV I actually found at a Goodwill for $5. Unfortunately, this is an Apple TV 3rd generation from 2010, so it's pretty old, and it doesn't use the new fancy remote that comes with it, and I actually had to buy that remote because they didn't have one. I think this TV is just going to end up being a travel TV, or for when I'm in college and I want to watch something on the dorm room speaker or dorm room TVs, I can just basically use this and watch stuff on it. I think it's probably easier to do it that way. The only thing I can't watch is Amazon Prime, but everything else that I can cast from my phone to it works just fine. Yes, this does not receive updates or have an app store, and it's on the newest version. So yeah. This Bluetooth receiver is a Bluetooth receiver from my phone, so if I want to listen to music from my phone, I basically turn this switch on and it plays from the front Vaux audio input on the receiver, so that's basically how this is. The tape deck's a tape deck. It's in one of the ports, and I don't remember which one every time, so I have to kind of guess, because this is nowhere near as smart as figuring it out. So yeah. The N64 and the Genesis are both hooked up to one of the video ports on the TV. I believe this one is video 3 and that one's video 1. It might be the other way around. I can't remember. But I did find a component or a composite adapter for the Genesis. That's a Generation 1. I used to run it on the RF output of the TV, but it seems that it was not getting a clean enough signal and the audio didn't sound good, so I actually found an adapter for pretty cheap on Amazon. And the N64 is an N64 with its N64 adapter. The GameCube, I found a special adapter for. You know, on the older GameCubes, the 2 ports, you use the one main one with the 3 colors. They actually make a composite or a component cable for the GameCube, if you didn't know. Same thing for the PS2. They have both component cables, and that's why I have it connected to this 3-way component switcher. So all of the ports, and there are, 5 wires? So what is there, 20 wires back here running all through the system? Yeah, it's a lot of wires. I'm not joking. But yeah, that is my entire setup. If you have any questions, leave any questions down in the comments below. And that is my entire man cave setup with speakers. I also do have a subwoofer. This is actually probably the nicest thing in this entire room is this subwoofer. This was, I think, originally a $300, maybe $400 subwoofer. And I got it during an Amazon Prime Day sale, and I think I only paid $150 for it. And this subwoofer sounds amazing. The receiver and the 2 speakers I got for free for someone because they were throwing a bunch of AV equipment out when they moved to their new house. So all the old stuff was coming out and the new stuff was going in. So the 2 Bostons and the receiver I got for free. I think that center speaker I got from Savers for like $15 or something. But yeah, that's basically my entire setup. Thanks for watching. Like, subscribe. Share with your friend. I'm having trouble. I haven't made a proper video in a while. Share this video with your friends and family. Until next time, peace. High five.